Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We're here for the final quarterfinal match of the Birmingham Sevens. This is going to be a massive one. Samoa, they have been looking brilliant throughout their last few games. Australia, they've been struggling at times, having a very close game up against the Kenyans. But now in the starting lineup for Samoa, it will be Valvasa Afasua, Va'a Pilomaleko, Yona Sione, Malani Matavao. So actually all of the co-captains back in the lineup. Unlike the last game, Paul Scanlon, Owen Nui, and Steve Onisai. Then for the Australians will be Henry Hutchison, Dietrich Roach gets a spot in the starting lineup. Josh Turner, Matt Gonzalez, Mark Nawakwanitawasi. Little bit of a risk going with him, I would say, after a few handling errors in the last game. And then Nick Maloof is the captain, Nathan Lawson also there. Now, I will mention no Samu Karevi, so massive for the Aussies not to have him in there because he is a hard runner of the ball. And they will be missing him big time in this game up against the Samoans. But Dietrich Roach will be getting us underway. It's kicked off short, and it goes almost into the hands of Paul Scanlon, but it was big contact there off the kickoff. Little knock-on from Samoa, and Australia from about 40 metres out from the Samoan line will have themselves the scrum feed. Head-to-head 5th Commonwealth Games meeting. Australia have won 3 from 4. So they do have the little bit of an advantage there. Samoa 94%, Australia 6%, says Sailosi there for our poll. So everyone is back in the Samoans to go in and get themselves a victory. It's going to be a fairly easy game for the Manu Samoa boys. Go the Manu, says Ioane. And come on, Samoa, says Hanoi. Front rows locking together for the scrum. This one is definitely going to be an exciting game when it does have a few tries being scored relatively soon. Dietrich Roach on the halfway line gives it off to Henry Hutchison. Good tackle made on him by Va'a Pilomaleko, one of the leading try scorers for Samoa since returning to the 7th Circuit. Also alongside him in the starting lineup, Steve Onisai. Oh, that's a DDT almost from Yuna Sione. Gets his hands on the ball, wins the penalty for Samoa. Wants to take it quickly as well, but the ball has been knocked out of his hands. It's not such an easy game. Don't underestimate Australia, says Enoch. Yeah, it is. Can be quite tricky for the Samoans to find their rhythm up against Australia. We've seen these sides go head-to-head in the past. Samoa only having the one loss, and that was up against New Zealand. Other than that, they have not conceded any points up against England or Sri Lanka. Whereas Australia, they did have a draw with Uganda. They did have a close win up against the Kenyans, I should say, and there as well. But that one has been called not straight by Samoa, so that is very unfortunate for them in that one. But now it is going to be the scrum feed Australia jersey. So cool with that collar. Yeah, it is quite a nice little change for the Australians there. It's almost, I want to say it's an Indigenous pattern on it, but I need someone a little bit closer. Oh, no, it's actually the Indigenous part up the top, sorry, and then just a bright yellow collar. I do enjoy yellow, so I quite enjoy that kit as well. But now 5 minutes left of the first half. Matt Gonzalez feeds the ball in for Australia. Ball available, going off to the right-hand side. Matt Gonzalez, big shot on him. Brilliant tackle from Paul Scanlon, getting driven backwards here for the Australians now inside of their own 22. Dietrich Roach with a nice fend of Yuna Sione. Paul Scanlon's going to have to try and stop him. He's got the pace to do so, and he's taken him down on the 22. Dietrich Roach tried to get straight up to his feet, and Steve Onisai almost managed to get the turnover. In fact, he did. Now Scanlon back there for Samoa with the counter-attack. This game's being played at a frantic pace. Good low tackle by Hutchison. Straight over the ball for Corey Toole, but he did end up leaving his hands down. What's more difficult to commentate, the fast nature of a Sevens game or a current France versus Ireland game? It's a good question, but I would say definitely Sevens because of how quick everything happens. I want to explain every little detail of what is happening, even the color of the players' boots, but unfortunately you just don't quite get that time with how quick it is going. Yeah, I can't wait to see Ireland play France again. Those games are always awesome. Last one that did take place in France was very close. Let's go Samoa, says Mikey. Now back across Malani Matavao. Easy to recognize him with the bright red headgear. Good low tackle made once again. Matt Gonzalez over the ball wins the penalty for Australia. Bit of a stalemate. Feeling out process between these two sides early on. Now Mark Nawakwanitawasi passes across to the hands of Nick Maloof. Good driving tackle in by Owen Nui. Now passed across, Nawakwanitawasi. It's another advantage for Australia for offsides, moving themselves back to the halfway line. Josh Turner, ball on the inside. It was slightly forward, even DDT details. Let's go WWE, says Nathan there as well. I'll be disappointed with that one. Matt Gonzalez, he was running through a gap, but Turner did go forward by about half a metre, so I don't think you can complain too much about that one. Matt Gonzalez, the Australian side, they've got a few guys who are conditioned extremely well, whether it's Henry Hutchison, Matt Gonzalez. I think they've got about 5% body fat between them. Now, Australia are going to be taking the quick tap, 2.5 minutes left of the first half, and we still sit at 0-0 in this final quarter-final. Now, Hutchinson does try and find the pass. He actually passes to himself off the bounce. And then comes some good Samaritan. Send me the link to this game, please, says Angelo. I know that there aren't really any games being shown live, but I can recommend at the moment there is a channel that is showing the games after they have been live. So probably about 30 minutes later, that is going to be a great run from Nathan Lawson. Oh, did he get it down, though? They might have to check that. He slaps the ground. He is not happy, Nathan Lawson. I don't think he's got this one down. But at halftime, we'll put the link to that channel because I think they will get copyright struck at some stage because they are literally showing full match footage of the games. But they are a little bit behind. I think they're currently showing, it's slapped out of his hands. Apelo Maliko has done a try-saving tackle and a half there. Now, the winner of this game, I will mention, goes on to face off against South Africa. That's going to be a big game. I've got some Stone Cold Stunners in the women's games, says it was Sailosi, but that is no try to Australia. Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. Hang on. They should probably... So they've said it's a no try. It's gone backwards. The question for me is, what about the grounding afterwards from the Australian player? The ball was lost. They just wanted to check the grounding, they've said. But, sorry, but if that's been knocked free, that ball is still in the field of play, and that becomes available for anyone to try and put it down. I think that could have been a try to Australia. A little bit unlucky for them. And also, there's no league, but if you're in Australia, it's on Channel 7. And there's also you can watch it while afterwards, though. Afterwards, Sports Central. And then there's another channel, Hamish. He said he will link. And there as well. Yeah, at the end of the day, I always say if there is an option for you guys to be able to watch the games, whether it is live or in the replay, I will always try my best to be able to give you guys that option. Kwanina Wasi, big shot there by Va'a. Well, I think that was actually Milani Matavao with a good solid shot on Dietrich Roach. Australia with Mark Noah Kwanina Wasi. It's going back for the penalty, and it is actually going to be a penalty to Samoa for a player holding a player in the breakdown. I said a lot of players in there. There are 14 out on the field. Although, depending on the referee, what he gets up to in his spare time, maybe we've got 15. Am I right? Whoop, whoop. Now, Mark Noah Kwanina did run around the side, but Josh Turner just held in Va'a Pelo Maleko. And our swimming is on 7 in Oz, says Hanoi there. Which seems crazy that they wouldn't be showing a quarterfinal matchup on some sort of channel type thing. But now, Milani Matavao be relatively happy with the way that this first half and tight game. 72% of their points this weekend have been in the first half for Samoa. And come on, Samoa, says Tautala. And there Vara Anoia and at Aussie, says Nathan. Paul Scanlon throws it in, stolen by Nick Maloufa's opposite number. In Australia, with 50 seconds left of this first half, have another good chance. I'm supposed to be at church today, but I had to stay behind. Hoping to watch the game live, says Angelo. Now Corey Tall, ball on the inside. It's dropped, and it's a knock-on from Turner. Little mistakes coming through. Yeah, a bit too sad. A bit sad, too much swimming, says Hanoi. And there as well. I feel like watching swimming just tells me how bad I am at swimming, if that makes sense. Like, they do the butterfly, and I'm like, mate, when I try and do the butterfly, I just look like a drowned fish, which is hard to do, because how does a fish drown? You drag it backwards, apparently, is actually the way that a fish can drown, fun fact. Well, it's not really fun for the fish, but yeah, apparently that is the only way that a fish can drown, is if it is pulled backwards through the water, because I guess the water gets up through the gills. You'll learn something new every day, don't you? Also, get your stuff together, Channel 9. And also, the discipline of Samoa will cost them. And there as well from Enoch. Now, Dietrich Roach, tackled by Milani Matavao, might have been struck with a high shot there. Gonzalez goes off to Henry Hutchison. Nice step again. The last thing that either of these sides want is to drop the ball now. Oh, penalty to Samoa. Brilliantly done. They didn't clean him out. And now Vavasa Afasua does start to run forward once again for the Samoans. Va'a Pilomaleko recycles the ball. Steve on his side now. Gives it off to Milani Matavao. Goes for the kick in behind, trying to play a riskier tactic. And now it sits up for Samoa. Corey Tall tries to stop it. Milani Matavao's tackle without the ball. And it will become the penalty for Samoa once again. Some babes in swimming, especially Canada, says Annoy there. And also I do, who's even watches swimming, let's be real, says not your everyday cultist. Ref, that's a yellow card. And thanks, Nathan, and not your everyday cultist, says Angelo. Now getting close, Va'a Pilomaleko. Now 10 meters out. Valvasa Afasua goes back to Milani Matavao. Has his ankle tapped. Another penalty for Samoa. Afasua does take it quickly. He wasn't on the mark, though. That could have been a run and try. The Samoan crowd are not too happy with the way that one's gone, but we are currently almost 9 minutes through this first half, and we are yet to see any points on the board between these two sides. Now, Milani Matavao does take the quick tap there. And the more you know, says not everyday cultist with that star. Milani Matavao tries to find the offload. Scanlon has knocked it on. It's halftime, and it's 0-0 between these two sides. But what we will quickly do is we will go like this. So this is the channel that I found yesterday at about 5 a.m. when I was looking through, see what I could find for the Sevens. Because like I mentioned, if there's any way of you guys being able to watch the games, I always like to be able to provide that. Even if, like, I do need to clarify beforehand, this channel more than likely will get taken down at some stage because of the fact that there is no, like, it's pretty much, they're showing copyrighted material. But because I am not, I guess I can give you the link type thing, if that makes sense. So that is the channel where you can actually watch the replays of these games. They do them as premieres. So currently they are doing New Zealand versus Kenya. I believe the next game that they will do is Australia versus Samoa. So be sure to check that out if you do want to have a look. But currently in this game between Samoa and Australia, it's a stalemate. Come on, boys, for Amalosi Blue, says Hammy there. And only like 10 likes and almost 200 viewers, says not your everyday culture. So while we're at halftime, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to leave that like, subscribe to the channel. If you are new, the winner of this game goes on to face up against South Africa on the other side of the draw. It is New Zealand and Fiji. There are big games coming in the Sevens, that is for sure. It should be extremely exciting. See how it does end up going. A frantic last minute, says Annoy, certainly right. You mentioned church. What day is it? It is Sunday at the moment here in New Zealand. And Brian Lima, he won't be happy with that first half performance. They would have needed a little bit more. And us people that don't have a TV need you for live commentary, brother, says Angelo. But yeah, be sure to check out that link. That will take you to a channel that will be showing the games a little bit later than they did take place. So be sure to check that out, Brian Lima, though. And they're from Silos. He certainly has the respect of everyone around the world, Brian Lima. You don't get the nickname, the chiropractor, by not putting in a few big hits. But a few people in the crowd have got their flashlights out on their phones and also used to be a game streamer. A good way to attract viewers to his channel, says Abiel there as well. So, yeah, that is the channel name for that one. But he used to be a game streamer, like you mentioned, a gaming channel. But he did end up going with the Sevens. So I'm not too sure what the connection is between them. But as long as he doesn't get copyright struck, because or else then his channel will get taken down and he loses those gaming streams for Amalosi Blue. Says Norris there and Lol Brian Lima. Says Gilu there. And a risky way to attract viewers, says not your everyday cultist. Yeah, the sad thing is, if we were to show 1 second of match footage, we would get taken off YouTube straight away. And it's such a shame, because if there was any way of us doing it, I would certainly do it. But like even Kiwi Lad Sport, we'd get banned for 3 months just for 1 second of footage. Go Manu for Amalosi, says Palolo. And also I met him in a bar in Samoa Lima, quite a muscly guy. Says, I know, yeah, he's built hard and built solid and can certainly run over the top of people. Matt Gonzalez on the halfway line now for the Australians. The kick did go straight into touch from Samoa. Afasua does manage to make that tackle. Or in fact, it was Volvos Afasua, sorry. Falaniko. He is currently working hard out there for the Samoans. I think it is Falaniko anyway. Now, Corey Tall running sideways. Dietrich Roach. Uncle Lima is my uncle. He's from Letigo. And then Go Manu says, Tal, nice step from Corey Tall. 5 meters out. Finds the offload up to Matt Gonzalez. Australia have scored the first try of the match. Samoa, they'll be disappointed with that one. They've held out for so long, and now Matthew Gonzalez has been able to go in and get the first points of this contest. Gets taken down. You guys can also watch Sports Central Key. And now what about Tuolangi brothers, says Nathan. Yeah, they are also very well built on themselves, that is for sure. And also we have got, I've watched the replay on that channel. So yeah, they have actually got every single game on that channel. So if you guys are keen to follow along with the Commonwealth Games as they happen, I do recommend checking that out as well. They aren't quite live though, but they are doing them as premieres after the games have taken place. So yeah, if you want to join us for live and you want to go over there, watch the replay, or you just want to watch them, it is completely up to you. But we will be here either way doing the live commentary for these games. Corey Toole got very close to the line, then found the offload to Matthew Gonzalez. And it is the first try of the match for Australia. Samoa, they'll be disappointed with that one. They would have very much so liked to make their way through to the semi-finals, but the game is far from over. Still plenty of time. Dietrich Roach about to kick this one off. Hasn't gone the 10, and this time now Samoa will be able to have themselves a tap on the halfway line. That now who mentioned fish? I think it was actually myself, wasn't it? How I said that when I do the butterfly, I look like a stranded fish or a drowned fish, and then I mentioned how fish can only drown if they're pulled backwards through the water. In fact, Australia have not lost the Commonwealth Games quarterfinal since 2002, but the kicker is that game was up against Samoa. So Samoa have beaten them before in a Commonwealth Games quarterfinal. Can they do it again in this exciting fixture? Samoa, 4 minutes left to get back into the contest. Was it a missed tackle? Because the try bro says Angelo. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too much pressure from Australia. Corey Toole, he was dragged down 5 meters out from the line, and then it was just the offload to Matthew Gonzalez that did manage to outnumber the Samoan. So I don't think anyone really did too badly there. It was just more of the case of there were just numbers available for the Australians, and the offload helped them big time. Falaniko has done brilliantly, taking the diving catch there to stop it from being a knock-on. And here the third comes in. He's not your everyday cultist. Milani Mataval takes it quickly. Va'a Pilomaliko being relatively shut out of this match. And it's a good tackle from Nathan Lawson. They want to put him into touch, but it's another penalty and a double blow of the whistle. This is a yellow card to Australia, and this could be a big turning point in the contest. I think it's the captain, Nick Maloof. He's asking, what did I do, ref? And also, we have also got there, I don't know, who do you go for? Born in Oz, but mum is Samoan. It's a tough one. Either way, you're going to be happy with them. But thank guys to whoever sub to the Kiwi Lads Gaming channel. You're all legends, says George Meyer. Yep, that is our other channel. We are actually filming some content for that channel relatively soon today. And yellow card says Angelo. So yeah, he wasn't back the 10 meters. So because of it, Nick Maloof did end up getting himself a yellow card. Come on, boys, says Aimbot. And Sneaky Aussie says Angelo. And we get so, says Eric there. It's going to be another kick or free kick to Samoa. Va'a Pilomaleko. I'm looking around for him because he is a try-scoring machine. Straight over the ball, though. Australia win the penalty. And this is giving me Kenya versus Australia vibes. Now, in that game, Australia were able to get themselves the win 7 points to 5. Wherever Samoa end up scoring this try could determine what happens in the later stage. Last night was hot chips or wedges. I did go for wedges in the end, and they were actually very nice out of the air fryer, I did learn. 10 out of 10 would have again, but I don't have them anymore, sadly. So that is a bit of a sad. Thanks for Amalossi. And then we get some random chat. We do, but that is what keeps us on our toes. Throw over the top from Australia. Now doing nicely from Josh Turner to keep it in the field of play. Dietrich Roach back to Henry Hutchinson. 25 meters out from the line with 2.5 minutes left here. And you can do with toasted cheese sandwich. I pay anyone who can send Uber Eats to Melbourne or who can send it to Melbourne, says Nathan there as well. Paul Scanlon has to be back to take that one. He does return with the kick. Interesting. We're seeing a bit more of a kicking game between the two sides. And it looks like Corey Toole is going to be cleaning up this one. I doubt he will be kicking this back. Instead, might consider having a run. It's going to be another penalty advantage to Australia for offside. And it looks like it's very unstructured for Samoa. They were retreating, but Corey Toole slows it down. And I feel Samoa now said, not your everyday cultist. Watch the discipline, Samoa. And Gina has said for Amalosi. And also, I want this to go into overtime, and there's a good chance that it does with 1:40 left on the clock. If Samoa score themselves a converted try and Australia are unable to get themselves a try now, we have got the chance of some extra time being played. But now Corey Toole trying to pierce a gap. Boy, that's a good shot on the ribcage. Va'apela Maliko. This doesn't benefit Samoa. The longer that Corey Toa is stuck in there, they need to release him here, Samoa, when they think about it. Like they're saying, as soon as one of the teammates touches it, it becomes a maul. But it's still up. This is using up time for Samoa, and I think the crowd realize that. They cannot afford to allow this to be stuck here. And it's not over yet. Body language, Manu. It looks like they're forcing him towards the touchline. He's released it. And Va'apela Maliko has turned it over, but he's knocked it on the ground. Mistake from Samoa, and a minute left on the clock now. Looks like there's going to be the subs. The crowd are not happy. And my goodness, sounds like Samoa are panicking. And what does Manu mean in there as well? So pretty much, what does Manu mean? I know that it normally means, I want to say it's like heart, but I don't know the exact translation to what it means. But Manu Samoa, I think it's kind of like the heart of Samoan rugby type thing. And congrats, Aussie. I'm proud of you, says 31 Titan. Now with a minute left on the clock, Manu means bird. Oh, or power, says Nathan. And there as well. So I guess in a weird way, it's kind of one of those words that depending on, like, it's kind of a word that's like, what does it mean to you? Because I know that they also talk about the Manu, or they talk about the Chiefs mana as well. And Manu means bird. And then also so weird that they all hold one player, says Hanoi. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird looking thing, I guess you could say, out there on the Sevens field. But Va'apela Maliko, he ripped it away. But then the mistake came. And Manu is Māori for birds. Told you guys don't underestimate Australia, says Enoch. And bird, not heart, says Max Daddy. And there as well. And also direct translation is probably bird. So I guess it's bird Samoa. Is there a Samoan bird? Actually, now that I think about it, on the Samoan rugby logo, there is kind of those slight, almost wings. But I think they might be feathers now that I think about it. And there as well. Now Maurice Longbottom on the halfway line is Fiji playing next. They have actually played their game for tonight. Samoa take it back. So they will actually have a game in about 15 hours' time. But we will be covering that one on the channel as well. I will be scheduling those live streams relatively soon so you guys know exactly when they are taking place. Malani Matavao runs hard at Corey Toole. 15 seconds left. Samoa, they need a try. It's going to be kicked in behind. Risky tactic with 10 seconds left. Australia, Corey Toole will just hang on to this one, and he will try and avoid the man. 5 seconds left. One more pass across. Henry Hutchinson just using up a bit more time. Steve Opitai getting in the breakdown. Australia kicking into touch. That was a big mistake from Steve Onesai. And Samoan fans are disappointed. Australia win it though, 7-0. Why kick, says Lossi? That is the big question. And unfortunately for Samoa, that kick is the thing that has ended their hopes and dreams of heading forward in this Commonwealth Games competition. So it will be Australia versus South Africa. And alongside that, it is going to be New Zealand versus Fiji. Strength for the flying creature, says Max Daddy. And also, why kick it? And Samoa going away from how they played in the pool stages. What does Fa'amalosi mean as well? Says not your everyday cultures. From what I have heard, I believe it is kind of like go Samoa, but I think there is another way of describing it. Why you kick a oos? The crowd boos, says, oh yeah, they were not happy. At the end of the day, if Samoa scored there, they would have been able to get themselves just a little bit further back into the contest, and maybe it goes to extra time. And yes, let's go Aussie. In there, as I says, 31 Titan. And can Aussie beat South Africa? They have done it in the past. That is for sure. So now we will have to wait and see exactly how it does end up going. Thanks for the coverage. Enjoyed your commentary, says James. Thank you very much, mate. So the next game that we will be covering on the channel, I believe, is going to be the men's match a little bit later on today. I will quickly get you guys the times before we get to the end of the day. We are not doing Jamaica versus Malaysia. I'll probably be asleep at that stage. But the first match that we are going to be doing, I believe, is Kenya versus Scotland at 10:58 p.m. New Zealand time. And does Hamish look Samoan to you, says Nathan. And that's South Africa to win. It means do well and be strong, says Angelo there. So yeah, the first game at 10:58, that is Kenya, Scotland. Next game, Samoa, Canada at 11:20 p.m. New Zealand time. Then it is New Zealand versus Fiji at 11:42. And then Australia plays South Africa at 12:04 a.m. Then in the women's side of things, I believe we haven't actually got too many more women's matches that are taking place. And then, yeah, Fiji actually 20 hours time, it will be South Africa versus Sri Lanka. It is going to be New Zealand versus Canada for that game in 21 hours time. And then it will be 7:38 a.m. Australia versus Fiji. And thank you, brother, for the commentary And there's and also says Blitzbox South Africa time for us tomorrow. Says not your everyday culture. So for the Blitzbox, a moment, I'll get that back up very quickly. I believe we worked out that it was plus 2 hours, wasn't it, in terms of GMT. So for South Africa's game, that will be at 2:04 p.m. for yourself, mate, for that next matchup for South Africa in the semi-finals. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all